My name is Dr. Jebediah Carver. Today we'll be learning about the Boston Tea Party of 1773.
Ooh. Is it the Tea Party that has the people with the flag that say, "Do not tread on me"? No, that's not what he's talking about. Ooh. Is it the Tea Party that when little girls, they play with dolls and invite all their friends?
No. The Boston Tea Party occurred in 1773. The colonists were angry over the price in tea after the Tea Act was passed in 1773. The British government, after the French and Indian War, had hoped to pay off the debts they had incurred during the war. To do this, they wanted to tax the colonists to raise the revenue to pay off these debts. So in 1773, the British Parliament passed the Tea Act. Let me explain.
We're gonna do a slide step to your right. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks good.
The British East India Tea Company was facing bankruptcy, so the British government decided to step in and grant them a monopoly. The monopoly worked a little bit like this. All imported East India tea was exempt from a special tea tax. Therefore, they were able to sell their tea at a lower price than their colonial and American-made tea counterparts, who were forced to pay the tax. This enraged people such as Sam Adams and the Sons of Liberty, who decided to retaliate by throwing overboard all British-made tea into the Boston Harbor.
In order for this Tea Party to be successful here, we needed to make sure that we refrain from two things. One is that we harm no British soldiers. 2 is that we destroy no property that wasn't in our quarrel. Any Sons of Liberty were to perish, they would die for the cause.
Say your line.
If any of our Sons of Liberty were to perish, they would serve as a martyr for our country. King George must adhere. No taxation without representation.
The participants dressed as Indians the night they threw the tea into the harbor.
Joe, throw it in.
Throw the tea in the pond.
Just do it!
The amount of tea lost was astronomical. King George III was furious. Not everyone was a fan of the Boston Tea Party. Benjamin Franklin thought the Boston Tea Party could be used by the British as a pretense for war against the colonists. He also thought that all the tea thrown away and damaged should be paid for. In response to the Tea Party, the British Parliament passed the Intolerable Acts, which saw punish Boston and Massachusetts. British naval ships then sailed into the Boston Harbor and created a blockade. They brought with them order and martial law. In the end, this would only increase tensions.
From the British perspective, the colonists were very ungrateful, and they perceived them to be nothing more than whiny little brats. And perhaps you can dilly-dally and say that perhaps the British were in the wrong, but I can assure you that this was certainly not.
McDonald's is winning. 50 deluxe home computer and video centers, 200 Atari Centipede games, 1,200 Atari home computers, 10,000 Atari home video games, as well as millions of McDonald's food prices. Purchase of Chicken McNuggets required to redeem food prices. Just scratch the card and match 2 dots without getting zapped. Sometimes you win, sometimes, because every card can be a winner. Taste the thrill of Atari.
Do not understand. why the American colonists would want to leave such a great empire. An empire that would pave the way for back-to-back World War victories, the Beatles, and Monty Python. Why would you want to leave an empire with such vast potential? No. Your people were spoiled, rotten brats, and you cannot tell me differently. History is crystal clear.
Oh, who is the grand architect then behind the Boston Tea Party?
Aliens.
Let's say that I were to give you a loan, say, a loan for you to buy a piece of land. And you were to come back to me after we had agreed upon the terms and conditions for which I would give you this loan. And you were to come back to me and say, "You are asking too much. I cannot repay you." In the same way a bank would laugh in your face, so would I, because these were the conditions in which we agreed upon. So from that perspective, how then can the colonists say that the British Empire was being unjust? Because after all, the war that accumulated so much debt was fought on their behalf.
We'll have to think of something, and right away, before either one of those two evil monsters.
You bloody...
Tensions continued to mount until an all-out war broke out, and the colonists eventually declared their independence in 1776.
For Educational Express, I'm Dr. Jebediah Carver. Thanks for watching, and remember, happy learning.